for 2 weeks. Number 2 was Beyonce, and number 3 was Lizzo, and I'm at 1.
Holy shit.
Right.
This entertainment industry is a joke. They waste your time. They talk about all this shit.
They want a piece of your action for doing nothing.
Yeah, and nothing happens.
Right.
So I fired everybody. Fired all the managers, fired all the agents. Get the out of here.
For me, music is my weapon of choice. That's my weapon of choice. Music.
When you started to go solo and you started speaking out and writing stuff like Revelation, I mean,
Yeah.
do you think you had a major impact in that shift?
I don't think so. I do know that the industry was watching what I was doing, and that my songs, like, yes, Revelation was one. There was one called Progress, where the line of the song said, "Stick your progress where the sun don't shine." Ode to Joe Biden. I had another one called Earth to God. That was during the pandemic. I mean, I had songs like that were becoming the #1 most downloaded songs, not in country, but all genres.
In all genres?
All genres. So like if you go to iTunes, you go to Apple Music, there's John Rich Records, which is a P.O. box, and Earth to God, or Progress, or Revelation. And it wasn't in the country chart, it was the all genre chart. So I remember Progress, for instance, sat there for 2 weeks. Number 2 was Beyonce, and number 3 was Lizzo. And I'm at 1.
Holy shit.
Right. So
you don't think you had a
they may have seen
shift,
that
or you
and
just
went, there's an
humble?
appetite for this. We didn't realize the appetite was that big. Maybe they looked at it. I don't know. I don't talk to these people, but I know they saw it. Everybody looks at those charts. So maybe they went, oh, the appetite, probably a combination of knowing their audience was starved for that type of content, and that people were changing the channel and changing the radio station en masse. They were getting Bud Lighted. The fans were responding. There's a difference in being canceled and what capitalism is. Being canceled means that a small group of people tell Shawn Ryan, "You're done," click, and they just cancel you, and your audience never had a say. When the audience decides they're going to turn you off, that's capitalism. We don't want to drink Bud Light anymore because they stuck a dude on the can. So we're going to start drinking something else. Now I'm a Coors guy, now I'm a Miller guy, and I'm whatever. That's not cancellation. That's capitalism. That's, you guys made a marketing move, it didn't work, and here's your backlash. That's how music works a lot of the times. That the audience, I think the audience's revolt against country music, and maybe them seeing some of what I was doing and how that was hitting as big as it was. Maybe it was a combination of several of those things. Can't really be sure.
Did you start getting calls from other artists other than Jason Aldean?
From other artists?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, a bunch of them.
You started doing that?
Dude, you're sitting at #1 on the all genre chart right now. I said, I know it's crazy, right? They go, how did you do that?
What did you say?
I say, I call friends of mine who have podcasts and, people that, social media people that I'm friends with. There's everybody from Benny Johnson to Cat Turd. I mean, I got friends. And so if I record a really good song and it's compelling, and I call up all my friends and they'd be a good friend back and say, yeah, man, we'll hit the repost on that. Then it's up to the music if the music will go. Because they can watch it on social media, but downloading it, that's on them. And so when enough people download that thing and it becomes the #1 most downloaded song in Progress case for 2 weeks, that was substantial. That was actually a really big win.
Man.
It was shocking to me. I was astonished by that, to be honest with you. But it told me, oh yeah, there's a lot of people feel exactly like I feel out there, and country music is not delivering them the music they want to hear. Because if you put Progress on country radio nationwide, God only knows how big that song gets. But it was never played on any terrestrial radio stations.
Man, that's
they wouldn't
wild.
touch it, but it's #1.
That is wild.
I know.
And none of the record labels reached out about any of them?
Oh God, no! Are you kidding me? What would they say? Congratulations, you're sitting at #1 without us? No.
I would think their greedy minds don't. I think that people like that don't have a soul.
Some of them don't. There's definitely some that don't, for real. And then the rest of them are just trying to play the game within the industry. It's kind of like, look at what Hollywood's doing. They're starting to change their programming. They're starting to move towards content that Americans actually want to see, instead of, the Snow White remake that nobody cares about, or the crazy new version of Star Wars that you're going, I don't want my kids watching that. You know what I mean? People are just, once they flop enough times in a row, capitalism kicks back in, and they go, you know what? This is not working.
Man, I hope Hollywood doesn't revive itself. I think they are so lost. They don't know what the hell to do anymore.
They are.
And people boycotted it. They've quit. They've let go of their streaming services, and they all come
Dropping like flies.
They all come.
I bet Kimmel's next.
Yeah.
I mean, Kimmel ain't any different than Colbert. That's same deal.
Dropping
I think
like
that's why
flies.
Fallon had Greg Gutfeld come on.
Oh, really?
I know Fallon. I've known Fallon for a long time. And Fallon has never struck me as whack job like Colbert was, dancing around with the needle on his head and all that. Fallon would never do that. I still think Fallon's a lefty, yeah, but he ain't that. And so for him to bring Gutfeld onto his show kind of broke the wall. It like ripped the veil for a minute. And it was the biggest ratings he had had in years just by having Greg Gutfeld on
No
the show.
kidding.
Yeah. They're starting to bend.
I just wish they'd just keep going down the same damn road they're going on.
Most of them are going to.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
And as artists, you don't need them. Do you need Hollywood, Shawn Ryan?
I thought I did. When I started this, I couldn't get anybody to pay attention. The first podcast I ever did, we hit the top 100 on the Apple charts, released it at Christmas of 2019. Still couldn't get any, I guess, of course, still, because it was brand new, but it's been a hockey stick ever since. And I couldn't get an agent. I couldn't get a manager. I couldn't get an advertiser. Nothing would happen. And then about the time everybody started paying attention, it was too late. I didn't realize it was too late. It took me about 6 months to realize this entertainment industry is a fucking joke. People they just talk to you. They call you. They waste your fucking time. They talk about all this shit.
They want a piece of your action for doing nothing.
Yeah, and nothing happens.
Right.
So I fired everybody. Fired all the managers. Fired all the agents. Get the fuck out of here. Don't want to work with you. I'll make contact with whoever I want to make contact with on my show. And we've been doing that, I guess. Came to that realization last year. And I guess never say never, right? But I don't think I'm ever going back.
Why would you give up anything that you've got right now? Do you like the way things are
I
today?
didn't fucking bring anything to the table.
That's what I'm saying. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here.
But
You get to invite guys like me, and
they all call up.
Get to come in.
They all call up and they're like, "We're the best. We're the best.
Yeah.
We're the best at what we do. This is the best agency." And it just got to the point where I was like, "Cool. You know what? All of you guys say, every single one of you, all the top, what is WME, CNA, UTA, all those." It just got to the point where I was like, "Cool. All you motherfuckers say the exact same damn thing. How about you put something in my lap and say, this is why we're the best, rather than this fucking used car salesman shit. If you don't have anything, get out."
What'd they say to that?
Well, then it was talk to this person, we'll get the CEO. I'm like, I don't give a shit about the CEO. I don't fucking care about any of you. Present me with something or get the fuck out of here.
They weren't used to talking to a military man.
So,
Telling you.
and then, back, just going back to, you're talking about being a father and a husband and being a good husband and a good father and how you have to say no to stuff. I learned that fairly early on, and I'll do a speaking event here and there, but all these people want me to do the speaking circuit. And I'm like, I'm not doing it, man. That's just more time. You are going to starve me of my time with my wife and my kids with dangling money in front of me that I won't even have fucking time to spend because you've got me so damn busy. So I'm not doing it.
There you go.
You bring it here to the Nashville, Middle Tennessee area, and I'll think about doing it. But I am not fucking going on the road. Not doing it.
You're so far ahead of the game to understand that. A lot of people can't ever get to that point.
You got one shot to raise good kids, be a
Yep.
good husband. And I do not want to fuck that one up. And so when and it was me. I mean, when I first started it was just me and my wife in the attic of my house. And then along came three guys that I call the OG crowd. And it was just us three for years, just fucking grinding. And I started to feel like I was starving my wife and my kids. And I still feel like that a little bit to this day. But so I started building it out and I'm still learning how to relinquish a little bit of control. But when I put my team together, I said, no entertainment people. I don't need bookers for my podcast. I don't need agents. I don't need any of this shit. Hired a COO that's been fucking amazing. Producer, Jeremy, you know, we went to your house and those two are both academy grads and all my friends like, you need the right manager. You need this. I was like, no, if you've touched entertainment, don't even fucking apply. So I don't want the typical podcast roadmap. I don't want any of that stuff. I want I just want a unique business. We make our own, whatever. You get what I'm saying.
If I had a record deal, Shawn, the last 5 songs I put out would have never been heard. And they all were at number 1. They would have never been heard. They would be turned into the label and they would go, that's nice, and stick it on the shelf. And that's it. You'd never hear it. And for me, music is my weapon of choice. That's my weapon of choice. Music. What I can say in a song, how many millions of people I can get to understand something or think about something. That's mine. That guitar is like how you handle a pistol and a rifle. That's mine, that guitar. That pencil and that paper. You know, it's crazy how powerful a pencil and a piece of paper is. It's the most limitless thing probably God ever created. If you think about the Constitution of the United States, started out as blank paper until someone picked up a pen and began to write. Now we have a country. You think about the Bible. Men and women inspired by God picked up something to write with and began to write down what they were being told to write down, and now we have the Bible. You come to me as like just a songwriter guy, but I'm looking at a blank piece of paper and I can put whatever I want to put on that or wherever I feel moved to put on that, and then we'll see what happens. But it is the most wide open thing ever. And to ever allow the industry to take that freedom and that limitlessness away from you is a crime. If you can afford to say no, you got to say no. Even if you can't afford to say no, if they go too far with it, you have to say no anyway. Because you can't live to your full potential if the things that you're coming up with are never going to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.